Okay, but moving on, the next couple of questions are also about gaining buy-in. We've talked about getting buy-in from frontline employees. Next question is from Audra. What is the best approach to leaders who still don't embrace CI, especially with allowing those who do the work to drive the improvement opportunities? Greg, do you want to address that first?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably spend an hour on this and alone, and I think we probably have dedicated webinars to this. But and the reason why I thought the first question related to the second question is because whenever, I mean, to me, what we're ultimately talking about is conflict resolution, right? And in conflict resolution, one of the principles of it is finding a common ground, right? And so we talked about in the prior question, well, how do you engage the front line? And we said, well, just find a common ground of what frustrates you and let's go fix that. I think the same thing applies to senior leaders, right? Find a common ground. What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve this year, this month, this, you know, over the next 5 years? And don't talk about continuous improvement, right? Just talk about those goals and then figuring out, well, how can we move the needle to start accomplishing those goals? And what you'll end up realizing is that they'll be doing continuous improvement before they even realize it, and you don't even have to talk about, you know, Hoshin or strategy deployment or control charts or, you know, A3s, and it's kind of getting that kind of core of improvement science as being part of just what we do versus, oh, we're going to do this program called lean, and we know that doesn't work, right? It's more of a lifestyle and it's a practice versus a something we're going to start on Monday.
Yeah, yeah, and we can combine. You know, the next question was from Martin, who asked, how do we get senior management's buy-in on CI? I think you've touched on a lot of it, Greg. You know, doing continuous improvement or lean or Kaizen or whatever we call it should be a means to an end. We don't want to do lean because it's somehow the right thing to do or because it's trendy. We should be, over time, driving sustainable long-term results for the organization. And that's not just cost and finance, but as you were saying earlier, it's safety, quality, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. So there's that combination of bottom-up employee ideas. What bugs you? What do you see? What can you fix? And then there's also top-down guidance. Here are the directions and the strategies of the organization. Here are the goals that we need to accomplish this year. But then leaders don't dictate all of the how. They might talk about what and why and expect more of the what and how at a detailed level to come from more of the bottom up. So we're going to set goals. We see this in what you call strategy deployment or Hoshin, Conry. Executives and leaders still set direction, but then we ask employees and managers at different levels to figure out how are we going to accomplish goals in their local department and organizationally. But one other thing I would add, I think if leaders don't embrace this approach to continuous improvement, I hear all the time people ask, how do we convince people that this will work? I said, well, let's try. Let's do a small test of change. Let's do a pilot. Let's demonstrate that A, people will participate, B, they'll keep participating, C, that it's going to be driving all sorts of benefits in that small part of the organization, prove that out, and then expand.
And I think it's, the word align comes to mind. Whenever I think of kind of Hoshin strategy, I think of the word align just in my head on thinking through this. I think of, hey, it's great to have one problem solver, but what about a team of problem solvers or an army of problem solvers? And then I think one of the best ways to continue to make sure that your leaders, once they do the experiment, once they're like, okay, cool, we'll do this experiment, I'm going to authorize energy be done, you know, towards this type of behavior, is to make sure they have visibility into the impact. And we talk a lot about that. I think it's something that software really brings to the table to be able to do that. But whether you're doing it through KaiNexus or Excel spreadsheets or just on paper, you really need, it's just like you said, if there's a different way to improve to get to the end, by all means do it. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we just happen to believe that we haven't found a better system out there to get the results that we're all looking for. And so making sure people understand what the results are is going to be critical to understanding. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
if you don't know what the score of the game is, then it becomes really hard to know if you're playing the game right, if that makes sense. You know?